Welcome to YOUCANIC Garage. Here we have another S400 that doesn't start. And we're gonna troubleshoot it with show you what's causing it. So let's take a look at that. Turn on the ignition and then you agree with that red battery malfunction. So let's take a look. So we have the YOUCANIC scanner plugged in, and we are gonna take a look at a few different control modules. So we go to control modules, and the first thing we're going to look at is motor electronics, engine control unit. So here, a lot of times, some of the critical fault codes are going to show even from the hybrid system. So we go and read codes from the engine control unit, and right here are the codes. You can see a number of fault codes. A lot of them are stored, but it just means there was an issue in the past. Hybrid system turn off. Electric machine A has malfunction. That's the power electronic module malfunctioning. At some point, battery sensor A. But these are all stored. So usually what we do is we'll hit save, and then clear these codes and see if any of them return. Let's go look at the power electronic module and see what we have in here, because we're going to try to figure out why this is not starting. So in here, you can see there's all these store codes. Usually you can clear them, but one that's keeping it, preventing it from starting is this current fault code interlock circuit of the high voltage onboard electrical system has a short to ground. So the high voltage system and the 12 volt, they're supposed to be two different circuits. So even the negatives are separated between the two. So you can't have the negative from the high voltage circuit making any kind of contact with the chassis of the car, because then you don't want to send like high voltage to the chassis of the car. It can cause issues with electronics, but also could cause you to like get shocked or whatever. So there's this interlock circuit that makes sure that all the orange connectors are connected properly. There's no issues with a hybrid system. So when there is a problem with the interlock circuit, the whole hybrid system shuts off and the car won't start. Now this can be a very tricky one to pinpoint, but it's possible. But you kind of have to check the interlock circuit of all the hybrid components. You have to check also the orange cables, and it can be very tricky to pinpoint this fault code. So those are the codes that we saw in the power electronic module. It's called SGEM. But if you go back, go to body, you got a couple more hybrid components worth checking. DC converter. In this car you also have the AC compressor, but more critically the BMS, so battery management system. The BMS is inside the hybrid battery, and this a lot of times can be the issue. Now that code that we saw, interlock circuit open, is going to be in all these hybrid components. So you can see interlock circuit of the high voltage onboard electrical system has short circuit to ground. So all those different hybrid systems are going to have that fault code in them. Doesn't mean they're all bad, but somewhere one of them is bad. And then once that circuit is open, then the whole hybrid system turns off, and all these components of the hybrid system, because the car does not really know exactly which one of them has this issue, so it throws that code in all the components. So if you could try to test the interlock circuit, if you can find a wiring diagram, or you can just take the components out and test them. We test them. We have S400. We test that on. Figure out which one is defective. But yeah, that's it. In this car, we will retrofit this with a regular starter, because these do not have a regular starter on them. Flywheel, AC, a regular AC compressor, and so that this will at least still run and drive even with the interlock, even with a hybrid system. Maybe not operational. But that's all. Thanks for watching YOUCANIC, where you can be the mechanic.